Hello, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. I had a day today. I don't know how your Valentine's went, but let me tell you about mine real quick before we dive into the training. So, I had two virtual trainings today for the Televerde Foundation that were an hour each. Then I had a virtual training with one of my other private clients. And then in between all of that, you have to prep, you have to get ready for it. So that's another 3 hours. And then my son, in between all of this, dropped by and gave me these beautiful red roses. And he said he admits that he was late getting them. That's all he could get. But he knows my Valentine's story. I used to make Valentine very special for him as a child because I didn't have a Valentine, and frankly, I've never had anyone that that spent any time with me on Valentine's. I never had a Valentine. That's what I'm saying. Oh, poor me, right? But my son now reciprocates and he brings me roses on Valentine's Day and a bottle of wine too. So that was very sweet of him. But I hope your Valentine evening is beautiful and going well. And yes, I am training on Valentine's night. Now, this will be the last training for this series on email structure because I thought I had enough material, but I realized that when I was preparing for tonight's, that it will all be wrapped up tonight. Tomorrow and Friday, I will be doing other things on LinkedIn and YouTube that might be of interest to you. Well, I know they will. In order to help you sell more. So that's my goal. My goal is to try to dispel all of this bad training that's going on out there, giving you guys the wrong information. So let's get right into it. So on day one, we went through the template, right? The email structure template. And if you haven't already downloaded that, go to day one, and there's a link in day one where you can download that template so you can keep it and structure your emails accordingly. Then last night, I took a real email that I got, and then I rewrote the one email as bad as it was. I rewrote it to the right way that it should have been sent. And then I also shared another email to help out insurance agents. And you can use that verbiage and just apply it to whatever your industry is. But your emails should be short, they should be concise, and you want to take out all the filler words. Now, these emails that I showed last night were cold emails that you would send out to cold prospects. But if you are collecting leads, they're coming through your website. I see this mistake quite a bit, where they're only collecting the first name and the email address. You need to be collecting their full name, their email address, and their phone number, their cell phone number in particular. Why is that important? Well, just like that sample email I showed you last night of a real email that was sent to me, that person that sent that email, all they would have had to do was a little bit of research. They would have known exactly what I do, and they would have been able to find my phone number because it's easy to find since it's my business, right? So you want to be able to collect those things So in case I don't answer, which I didn't answer, I don't intend to answer that email, you can call the prospect instead. And you should be calling the prospect, and you should be putting in the email at the very end, not let me know if you have any questions, not give me a call if you have any questions. No, you should always be very specific and say, I'll give you a call tomorrow at 1 p.m. and answer any of your questions. That's what you should be doing. Not let me know if you have any questions. You'll be waiting on that prospect till the cows come home, waiting for them to answer. They're not going to do that. So it's up to you. It's your responsibility as a sales professional to lead the prospect down the buying funnel, and it's your responsibility to always follow up with them. So that's what today is all about, is follow up. So let me bring up the guide so you can follow this. All right. So day one, you have sent your email. You've sent your prospect email. And on day one, when you said you're going to call, you call. Whether it's morning or afternoon, you call in the morning. And if you get a voicemail, you leave a voicemail, and then you follow with an email. Don't play the game of hang up. You get a voicemail and hang up. You get a voicemail and hang up. True story, folks. I worked with a man who, as a sales rep, he would never leave his phone number. And he would call the prospect, and if he got a voicemail, he'd hang up. He called this one particular prospect about 6 times in 1 month. And this man called back angry, called our office angry. Who is calling me and hanging up? Hold on, folks. I realized I didn't have my mic in front of me. Last night I did part of the broadcast on mute. So that just shows you how my day's been going. So the true story is the prospect called our office and just very angry. Who's calling my cell phone and hanging up? It's happened 6 times. Just tell me who you are. Well, it happened to be the sales rep, and he burned a bridge with that prospect because the prospect didn't know who was calling him, what the business was, who was calling him, what he wanted. And it's like phone stalking. Do you know what I mean? It's like phone stalking. You call, you get a voicemail, you hang up. You know, maybe at the next hour, you call, you get a voicemail, you hang up. Don't do that. Leave a message. So your message should be under 30 seconds. And your voice message should include the time you'll call back. And it can sound like, hi, Brenda, it's Christine with the Savvy Sales Lady firm. It sounds like you're busy. I'll give you a call back on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Hopefully you'll be available to take my call. If you have a few minutes later today, you can reach me at, and then give your phone number. Okay? That, and ladies and gentlemen, I hear this a lot in coaching. Well, nobody listens to their voicemail. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. And there's a whole cadence I go through in my training about this that we will not be able to cover in this session, because there is one thing at the end of the cadence that you absolutely have to do. And I have had it. I've had the prospect reach out to me because of that one thing. Now, my clients know what that one thing is because I take them through the whole thing. But for time's sake, I'm not going to be able to do that for you. So the important part is you call back, you tell them who you are, be very transparent, and say it sounds like you're busy. Well, they didn't pick up, so they're probably busy. Just say that. It's respectful. And then give them a day and time that you will call back. And then say, hopefully you'll be available to take my call. One of the things that this also does is when you leave a voicemail, especially on a cell phone, now cell phone voice messages will give you the text. I know iPhones do because mine does it. It'll give you the complete text of the voicemail. So people don't have to listen to it, but they can press on that voicemail tab and see the text of your voicemail. So I want to highly recommend that if you're not in a habit of leaving voicemails, leave this type of a voicemail. Very respectful. All right. Then after you leave that voicemail, immediately you're going to send the same message in an email. And you can start the email with, Brenda, a few moments ago, I left you a voice message. For your convenience, here's the message. And then you're just going to repeat, it sounds like you're busy. I'll give you a call back on blah, blah, blah at blah, blah, blah. Hopefully you'll be available to take my call. If you have a few minutes later today, you can reach me at, and then your phone number. It's Christine with the Savvy Sales Lady Firm. And you can that's all you need to say. All right. So let's say that you told her you would give her a call back in the afternoon and you get a voice message again. You're going to turn around and leave another voicemail, and you're going to repeat this message all over again. But this time, tell her you're going to call her in a couple of days. And that means day 3. So if you see the tabs, there's day 1, day 3, day 5, day 8, day 10, and day 13. That's the frequency of your call and email cadence. So when day 3 comes along and you said you're going to call, then call again and leave another voicemail if you get voicemail, and follow up with an email. Now, I always try to schedule my calls or tell them I'm going to call in the afternoon, and here's why. One other tip that you can do is at 8 a.m. in the morning, and if you have an email service that will schedule these emails out to you, you can type out your email and then schedule when you want it to send to the prospect. So a lot of times I will type that out the night or the day before. I'll put to send it at 8 a.m. and it's a reminder email of, hi, Brenda, this is Christine with the Savvy Sales Lady Firm. This is just a courtesy reminder. I'll be calling today at 2 p.m. Hopefully you'll be available to take my call. And that's typically the way I like to do something. So on day 5, here I say, leave an email before 8 a.m. telling them you're going to be calling in the afternoon. So let's say you call in the afternoon on day 5 and you give voicemail again. You're going to leave another voicemail and telling them when you'll be calling back. Then on day 8, you're going to then send them a courtesy reminder at 8 a.m. to remind them that you'll be calling again at whatever time that you specified, to give them another heads up. All right. If none of those emails work, and what I love to do is juggle the times, because some people, this one small business I was cold calling for, I was able to reach the director either at 7 in the morning or at 6 p.m. So I staggered those times so I was able to reach the director. And in a 6-week period, I had booked 26 appointments for this small business to follow up and meet with the directors and sell them their programs. So think about that, folks. How many appointments have you booked in 6 weeks? Have you booked 26 in 6 weeks? I have a testimonial on my LinkedIn profile that actually substantiates this. So the business owner gave me a testimonial on this. So, and I did it by using all of these things I have shown you over the last 2 to 3 days. Every part of this. I've used this cadence on every cold calling campaign I've been on my business, and when I cold call for other small businesses. And this is the way I train my clients to cold call too. So we're on day 10. This time, you've called in the morning, you've called in the afternoon, you've called during lunchtime. So now there's a possibility that you should be calling later in the afternoon, maybe 6 or 7 in the evening. So even if that doesn't work, and you're now on to day 13. So on day 10, you left another voicemail, you followed up with email. Day 13 rolls around, you're going to loop back around and do day 1 all over again. Now, people have asked me, well, isn't that being a pest? So all of these businesses know that they're going to get cold calls. They all know they're going to be prospected. But what people don't realize is statistics show that it takes almost 9 to 13 touch points before you get through to a prospect. Now, on the cold calls that I've done for small businesses, I've tracked that, and I can tell you that that is true with some of the prospects, but I did get a hold of them and I did get them booked about the 13th and 14th call. So that is a true statement. I have absolutely my statistics show that too. But the problem is we give up too soon. We think because the prospect isn't responding to us that they're either ghosting us or they're not interested. That's not true at all. Until they tell you it's not interested, you don't know that to be true. So what I'm not, let me back up when I say that. You don't want to be calling them 3 and 4 times a day every day. You don't want to be doing that. So try on day 1 calling in the morning, try then calling in the afternoon. If you still get voicemail, then wait till day 3, then call in the morning again, and then wait till day 5, and you're going to leave a email letting them know you're going to call, and then call in the afternoon. So you're not calling them every single day, 2 and 3 times a day. You're not doing that. But this cadence works, folks. I'm telling you, it works. And like I said, here in the template, the idea is to stagger the times you're calling because people are available at different times. And that's the thing that you want to discover when you're calling these prospects. When's the best time to contact them? Okay, so don't think you're being a pest. If you're calling 2 and 3 times a day, every day, you're being a pest then. But if you leave respectful voicemails, be very transparent who you are, and you tell them when you're going to call back, and you follow up with an email, you're trying to find out what's the best way to communicate with that prospect because that's important. Once you're able to get them on the phone, one of the first things I always say is, as we're moving along in the conversation, what do you prefer as far as communication, how I should contact you? I just ask them. And if it's a cell phone, I'll ask them, do you mind if I text message you? I don't text people unless I have their permission to text them. And I just think that, again, that's respectful. So one of the other things that I can't go into tonight because it'll take too long is the other part of this cadence. And there is a way to end this, and I won't say end it for good, but put it on hold for 6 months, then loop back around. But I'll give you another example. So someone I had been trying to get a hold of that I was prospecting, I finally got a hold of this person. I went through my entire cadence, exhausted it all, couldn't get a hold of her, waited 6 months, started up again. And then on day 1, she took my call. And she said, "I'm so glad that you reached back out to me. I had not kept your phone number, and I have been in and out of the hospital, and it was just a very bad time when you were calling, but I am interested in what you have to say." So, those things do happen. So keep that in mind when you're doing these cadences, okay? Now, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me on either in the comment section and ask questions or on LinkedIn and ask me questions there as well. And I'll be happy to help you any way I can. So we're wrapping up this email structure and sequence training. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this brings value to you. And if there's anything else you would like to see from me, please reach out and tell me. I would love to help you any way that I can. Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and of course, always on YouTube. And am I missing one? I'm on all the platforms. Let me just say that. I'm on all the platforms. So make it a great Valentine's evening for yourself, and I'll see you next time. And remember, always be savvy when selling, and sales is a journey, not a quick trip around the block. Always be learning. Bye-bye.